everyone and welcome back to the Breakdown Tech. Today we're going to be going over a $1,250 PC build guide. This is going to show you all of the parts you need to get an awesome $1,250 system. It's going to be able to run any and all modern games out there at 1080p 60 FPS max settings. It's going to be able to kill every game on the market, guys. I promise you that. On 1080p, on 4K, you should be able to play most things at medium settings, if not max settings. So this overall is going to be a great system for just $1,250. Before we get into the video though, you can find all of the links to any of the parts that we mentioned in this video in the description down below. You can also check out our merch store for incredible tech merchandise based around, PC gaming, coding, Hackintoshes, awesome stuff like that. So check it out at the first link down below. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get on into this build guide. Now we're going to need a processor for the system, and that's where I like to start with my build guide. So we're going with an Intel Core i5 8600K, and the reason we're going with this is because it's 4 cores, it's 3.6 gigahertz base clock, and it can be overclocked, meaning you can crank a lot more gigahertz out of it depending on the cooler you go with. With the cooler we're having here, it's not going to be too crazy, but you're going to be able to do that nonetheless. Speaking of coolers, we're going with a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo CPU cooler. This is a tried and true cooler. I have one myself on my system. You're not going to be able to do tons of crazy overclocking with this thing. If you want to push the overclocking, you're going to spend about $100 on a good cooler, probably a good liquid cooler, and I will link that in the description down below as well. So you'll have an air-cooled option, which is the one I'm using for this build, like technically on the pricing, and then I'll have a water cooler down below for you guys, for those of you who want to push your overclocks a lot more than maybe half a gigahertz or so. With that though, we need a motherboard, so we're going with an MSI Z370 Gaming Plus motherboard. This is going to be a competent motherboard for you guys with up to 64 gigabytes of RAM support and plenty of PCI and PCIe slots for graphics cards, capture cards, Wi-Fi cards, any expansion, sound cards, any expansion you want to do with the PCI, you should be able to do it here, which is great. It's also got some pretty cool red LED lighting, which means you're going to be able to light up the inside of your case all spooky red if you want to do that. For RAM, we're going with two 8GB sticks from G.Skill, specifically their Ripjaws 5 series. This is going to be DDR4 3000 MHz RAM, which means it'll be competent speed for this build. Not the slowest DDR4 RAM out there, but also not the fastest. It's kind of near the middle there, and because of that, we can pick it up at a good price from a reputable brand like G.Skill. It's also red, which fits into this build pretty freaking well. Also, you don't need a ton of RAM for gaming. You can actually check out my video up there to see how to choose the RAM for your gaming system, where I go over exactly how much RAM you need for gaming and look at everything overall. So yeah, that's something you might want to check out if you're like, I think I need more RAM than 16 gigabytes. So what about our hard storage? Well, because this is a $1,250 build, you're in a price range where you can now afford an SSD and a standard traditional SATA hard drive for more of your big data, which is great. That's the great combo. That's the one that I personally love and use myself in my system. So for that, we're going with a Western Digital 500GB M.2 SSD. This is where your operating system is going to be. It's going to be where your games that you play all the time are going to be. It's going to be where all of your programs are, things like that. Things you need to access quickly and have a lot of little files associated with them are going to go on this M.2 SSD. We're going to be pairing that with a 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue standard hard drive. That's where your big games like GTA 5, ARK, Call of Duty World War II, things like that, those games that are over 30 gigabytes are going to live on your hard drive, and the only difference you're going to see is they might open a little slower, but you'll be able to play them just the same. So that's pretty cool as well. With this combo, you should be able to boot into Windows very quickly while also being able to launch the apps you use all the time pretty quickly as well, including games, but it won't limit you on your Steam library and things like that. Let's say you want to keep your entire 40 game Steam library on your computer, where you can do that, keeping most of the big games and most of the games in general on your hard drive, right, that 1TB drive, but keeping the 4 to 5 games that you play all the time on your SSD. It's a great combo. I personally love it. You can also use that 1TB hard drive for any movies you have, any music, things like that. That can all be stored on the 1TB drive. Now what about what you've all been waiting for, the graphics card? Well, in this system we're going with an Nvidia GeForce GTX 1070 8GB graphics card. This thing's going to be competent at VR, very good at VR actually. It's going to be great at 4K gaming, and overall it's just going to be a great GPU for this system. Why, you ask? Well, it only produces a 3% bottleneck with the i5 8600K. So for those of you who are like, why would I get an i5 at $1,250? This is why. i5s are good now, okay? i5s are great gaming processors, so are i3s, and that's proven when you pair them with a great graphics card like the 1078GB, and it only produces a 3% bottleneck. Wow, that is absolutely incredible, and some of the lowest you can get with bottlenecking. It's very, very hard to get 0, and 3% is within the margin of error. So great stuff there, and yeah, I'm just really impressed with this combo. Now we're going to need a case to put our awesome hardware in here, and for that we're going with a tried and true case, the Cooler Master Master Box Lite 5 RGB. Now, sure, the external of your case is going to be RGB, but you can easily switch those to red to match the interior of your case, right? The red LED lighting on the MSI motherboard and the red trim on your RAM. That together is going to create an awesome glowing red system, but you can also do some contrasting with like white lights on the outside on the case and red light on the inside. So you've got tons of different options because this case is RGB. It's also got a huge side window that will allow you to see your beautiful system on the inside while it is running. And yeah, overall, great case, great cable management. Cannot recommend the MasterBox Lite 5 enough. Now, wattage-wise, this system, without any overclocking or anything, only produces 369 watts. But I don't know about you, but if I got a system like this, I would try some overclocking. So because of that, I wanted to go a bit beefy on our power supply. So we're going with a 750 watt EVGA Supernova G2, meaning it's Gold Plus certified, so pretty efficient when it comes to the power rating as well. So this power supply is going to allow us to do some overclocking on both the CPU and the GPU. However, I wouldn't recommend pushing it over 500 watts or so, but out of the box, you're going to be able to do a bit of overclocking if you want to, and honestly, you shouldn't need to overclock the GPU for some time. So anyway, guys, there is the build. How much did it come out to? Well, it came out to $1,267.54 at the time I'm making this video. Now, sure, it's $13 over $1,250. I do apologize for that, but the thing is, I made this build a week ago and it kind of fluctuated up $13, meaning it could fluctuate back down to where it was, which was $1,249 when I originally built it. So anyway, guys, that's what you're looking for. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know any other build guides you would like to see me do in the comment section down below. Nevertheless, my name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown Tech, and I am out, guys. Peace.